Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon associate and AdSense site for sale in the apparel and accessories niche. Created in February 2015, this business makes $3,748 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the site is 41040. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Neef.
Hey, no worries.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, very well. Thank you, Jake. Very well.
Awesome. Before we get into it, I just want to give a quick summary of the business. The business was built in February of 2015, monthly revenue of $4,272 with monthly expenses of $524, which puts together a net profit of $3,748, and this is built on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of the business are the domain and site content. With that out of the way, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, sure, Jake. I suppose in terms of affiliate marketing and online business, I'm quite new to the game. I've only been in it for around about 2 years. I worked for an SEO agency for 1 year out of the two. And then for about a year, I've been working remotely, traveling around, running online businesses from Asia, basically.
And how did you come up with the idea to start this?
I had a catering business before this, very, very different. And it was an absolute slog. I worked very, very hard for 2 years and made very little money. High turnover, but not very much profit. And I just, like everyone, I got online and started looking into ways of making money remotely, and internet marketing, as you can imagine, was right at the top of the list. So I got into just reading a lot of blogs and decided to create my first affiliate website.
And what made you settle upon this niche?
This particular niche, I read a number of blogs. One of them in particular, Niche Pursuits, gave a rundown of how to choose a niche. And I followed that criteria. And this particular niche ticked all the right boxes: low competition, high search volume with keywords, and just chose it that way.
So you didn't look for something that you were particularly super interested in. You were looking for like a niche with an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, no, that goes against some of the advice that they give, that they say to choose something that you're a little bit interested in. Certainly if you're first, because when I first had the site, I wrote some of the blog posts myself. But I saw it as a money-making opportunity, and I wanted to maximize that opportunity as big as possible. And this niche ticked all the boxes.
Speaking of the money-making, how does the site primarily make money?
99.9% of the revenue comes through the Amazon Associate program. I do make a small amount of money through AdSense on the site.
So if it's making money, why are you selling the business, instead of keeping or growing it?
A couple of reasons. After starting this site, I actually started a few other websites, which I quite enjoy working on a bit more than this one for personal reasons. And also, I would like to get a deposit for a mortgage as well. Coming to that time in my life, and I could do with a nice lump sum of cash to do that. And the other websites I've got are generating an income now, so this is the best site to probably sell off at this moment in time.
So what exactly is the plan for after the sale? Are you going to be working in the same niche, or are you just getting out of the game completely?
No, definitely not getting out of the game. Like I said, I've got 2 other websites that are also generating an income. So I'd like to put a little bit more effort into those. Also, I'd like to build my portfolio as well, and look to invest in and build other affiliate sites as well. With the capital from this one, it will make things a little bit easier. What I've noticed over the last couple of years is SEO is becoming a little bit more expensive to get going. So having a lump sum of money gives you an advantage over your competitors.
So you mentioned that you have 2 other sites that you're currently making money off of. Are they in this niche as well?
No, completely different niche.
Okay.
Completely unrelated, no crossover or competition whatsoever.
Okay, cool. So the business was built in February of 2015. What was the trajectory of the business, within the first few weeks or months?
Within the first few weeks and months, when I first created the website, nothing was really happening, actually. Nothing was really happening. I built the site. It wasn't really making any money. And then I put it to one side, started getting on with my life and the job that I had at the time. And then one curious day, I logged into my Amazon Associate program and realized that I'd made something like $50. And, that completely blew my mind at the moment at that time. So then I thought, actually, if I can make $50, perhaps I can make $100, I can make $500, $1,000, etc. And I just started, building on the site and the authority, and then it just started to grow. And then after I started putting the effort in, it really did start to rocket quite quickly, right up until December of last year.
What happened in December of last year?
Well, December last year was quite big for me because it was Christmas. We also had Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So I was generating a lot of income. 2 days, a bit of a nightmare actually, 2 days before Christmas, just when everything was rosy and I was generating a very, very good income, there was a negative SEO attack on my site, which I quickly dealt with. But it was a bit frustrating because there was still a couple of selling days left before Christmas Day.
For someone who's listening who might not understand completely what you mean by that, can you give just a little bit of an explanation as to what you mean exactly when you say a negative SEO attack?
Yeah, so basically, from what I understand from speaking to other people in this industry, it is becoming common, more common, I suppose, but you just have to know how to deal with it. But basically, what happens is maybe a competitor or somebody else who kind of taken over their website in Google SERPs, they basically point a number of low quality links to your website with over optimized anchor text. So they might, I think in this case, it was something like 2,000 backlinks going to my site with 3 different anchor texts. So obviously Google sees that, immediately you get penalized, and that's basically what a negative SEO attack is.
How do you get it taken care of?
I didn't notice at the time, but there is companies out there that would literally deal with it for you. I think it's like $500 or $700, and they will deal with it for you, but I didn't know about those at the time. But you can do it yourself. It's not particularly very hard. It's just a bit laborious and takes some time. You need a backlink software that allows you to kind of look to see who's linking to your site. You then need to go through that list and determine which links are spam or which links are a part of the negative SEO attack. And then you just need to put it into a text folder and then apply it. And then you just need to send it to Google through your webmaster tools to say that I would like to disavow these links, which basically means to Google, I don't want you to actually take notice of these particular links. And Google just kind of doesn't take notice of those when they considers the ranking for your site.
And how long did you say it took you to get that taken care of?
To be fair, I mean, it was the first time something like this had ever happened to me, and it was a lot quicker than I thought. Within 48 hours, I was back to, any prospective buyers look at my Google Analytics, they'll see how quickly the traffic bounced back. I think the whole process lasted maybe 2 to 3 days.
So other than this whole thing, it sounds like you got that taken care of pretty all right. Other than that, is there anything you learned from running this business that just didn't work?
Yeah, I mean, what I've learned from running this business, what I did is I had more money pages than I needed to have. If, in hindsight, I would have perhaps reduced the amount of money pages that I had and focused on those rather than trying to go for a numbers game. Whereas, say, for example, you have, 5 money sites earning 1,000 a month rather than having 300 or 400 money pages earning $100 a month, if that makes sense. It was easier to rank the pages that make $100, but I wish I kind of focused on a smaller pool of money pages because it's just easier to manage and easier to grow and etc.
Yeah, that makes sense. What have you learned from running the business that did work, that you will want to apply to future sites and businesses that you run?
Keyword research is, the keyword research that I learned, because with this particular site, one of the things that I did different to other people was I decided not to actively build links. When I first started the site, I tried to build backlinks. I found it quite difficult at the time. So then what I decided to do was to try to, test a few different tactics out. And actually, that's one of the benefits of site is that it hasn't had, only up until recently, which we'll talk about in a moment, it hasn't had an active link building campaign for it. So all of the keywords, big keywords were ranked with no backlinks. I went through a fairly unique keyword research method, which I use to try and find sort of low competition keywords and products in Amazon, and then, beat the competition by writing high quality content for those.
So are you writing the content, did you say?
At the beginning, I wrote the first 5 articles, but as soon as I started earning an income, because it was something, an industry or a niche that I didn't really know too much about, I decided to get a writer. So I had a writer. I actually stopped actively putting content on the site around about February of this year, February, March. Regular content. I was putting, about 5 to 10 articles on a month, but since then I haven't done that.
Why haven't you been doing that?
Well, I didn't think I needed to. The website was making me a passive income. It was basically running on autopilot. And I was trying to, at the time, I started some other websites and I wanted to put my efforts and focus into those.
Okay. So speaking of the income you mentioned earlier, it started making income, you stopped putting content on. Where did that income come from? Was it all organic? Was it referral? Was it on social media?
So no social media, no referral. It's all organic traffic, basically. So the keywords would rank in Google and the people would hit the site, then go over to Amazon and buy the products.
How stable have the earnings been?
The earnings have been up and down, as with most affiliate sites. Recently, have been a little bit less this year than perhaps earlier on or around the back end of last year, but it's fairly stable.
And you said the earnings always pick up during the holiday season, correct?
Well, some of the keywords I've got, some of them are seasonal. So a little bit, not totally seasonal, but in certain parts of the year, you generally get more sales or more traffic in that particular region. So that's where some of the traffic slightly dropped off. But I mean, it's basically more, the income's on an average and then increases over certain parts of the year.
So, Neef, if you were going to keep the business, what would be the least risky path to growth that you would focus on?
The least risky path I'll do to grow the business is, like I said, because I haven't done any link building, that would be the least risky part. So I would basically start link building on the site because realistically, all it can go is up because it's not being propped up with backlinks at the moment. So, if you get a few backlinks to the site or some of the money pages, probably see an increase in traffic.
If someone bought the business and were feeling incredibly risky, what could they do to grow the business really quickly? Or what would you do if you wanted really quick growth?
Really, really quick growth. So, if somebody has access to legitimate PBN network or a quality PBN network, then that is by far the biggest opportunity here, because that's why I suppose it's risky with PBNs, because if you don't get a high quality PBN or you don't really know what you're necessarily doing, your chance of risking or hurting your site. But if you have a good supply of PBNs, I'll just hit the money pages with PBNs, high quality PBNs, and I believe that the site will go to the moon.
What are the biggest risks associated with the business that prospective buyers should be aware of?
Well, in online, there's more risk than perhaps other businesses that you run because you're at the mercy of Google. So I suppose the biggest risk at the moment is, adhering to Google's algorithms. We don't know what's up their sleeve. They can make certain changes that are out of our control that can, reduce your traffic. So everything can be rosy, everything can be going well. Google comes out with an algorithm change that doesn't quite fit the model of your site. And all of a sudden, you could feel that with your traffic. So that I'd say would be the biggest risk with this business and any online business.
Has that happened to you at all since you started the business, where Google or Amazon has made some change to their platform and it negatively or positively impacted you?
Well, in March, Amazon changed their commission structure. They had the same commission structure for a very, very long time, and they changed the commission structure. So instead of, it was before the commission structure ran on a system where it was a tiered system. So the more sales you made, the higher the percentage you would get. And the highest percentage you could reach was 8.5%. In March, they changed it to a fixed system. So it was each individual niche would have a certain percentage. And with this particular niche that we're in, there was a slight change. We lost a couple of percent on the overall commission that Amazon would pay us each month. So yeah, that happened. Also as well, there's been some updates called Fred, which anyone in SEO should be aware of, where affiliate sites have been targeted. Some sites I've seen have been targeted and they've lost very, very, 80, 90% of their traffic. On a couple of the money pages on this site, we're seeing dips of around about 10%. But I'm not 100% convinced that it's down to that, because that ranking at the number 1 and 2 spots are sites that have affiliate content I believe it's more to do with, because I haven't built links to the site, eventually you're going to get found out. If you've got a low competition keyword, some other savvy SEO person is going to stumble across that. And I think that's happened on a couple of occasions. And they've just outranked me with a couple of backlinks. So that goes to my initial point where I said one of the biggest opportunities here is to build backlinks to the site.
And another opportunity would be to start putting content on the site again.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Yeah, so you could do that as well. You could start building content in and around the areas where, in and around the keywords where we're ranking for, because we know that we already have relevancy in those areas, and you can start seeing growth. Another actual opportunity that I didn't actually mention as well is maybe with the one thing I would do, which I didn't mention before, is when Amazon changed the percentage, because of the niche that we're in, there is actually quite a few affiliate offers in this niche where you can actually get higher percentage than what Amazon is earning. It would just be more about going, if I was going to continue with the site, that's the job that I'll do, is going through each money page to see if there is actually a better offer. I have seen some better offers elsewhere, but I haven't actually got into the nitty gritty and the details of those. Because I've never ever used another affiliate network other than Amazon. But that's something that I would explore. So you could potentially, if you switched over some of your affiliate links to one of the higher paying or higher commission affiliates, you could actually be earning more money than what you're earning now. Yeah.
So the writer, you mentioned that you were outsourcing content, writing for the website. Mm-hmm. Would you be able to provide a buyer with that contact information in case they don't have a writer or want to write themselves?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If they don't have a writer, sure, I could put them in touch with the person that writes my articles. If they don't want to use my articles, my writer, I can help them find a writer. It's not that difficult these days. I'm even actually in the middle of starting up a content business as well. So they can speak to me on the side about that if they need content. But yeah, I mean, that's absolutely fine. Either use my writer or I can help them find writers. Not a problem whatsoever.
Okay, cool. Can you describe the amount of work that you put into the site and the type of work that it is?
Yeah, so like I said, from February, I wasn't actually doing much. I was, like I said in the intro, I was traveling around Asia. I was sort of working little bits here and there, and I was putting a lot of focus in my other site. So I was only really checking in on this site maybe an hour a week for this particular site up until about 4 or 5 weeks ago, where I actually, I started seeing a little bit of the traffic tailing off. So I thought, actually, let me start putting some effort back into the site. And so probably around about an hour a day at the moment, 5 days a week, maybe about 5 hours a week at the moment, which I've mainly been doing. I've just started building links, like I've said. So I've actually, over the last 6 weeks, I've built around about 16, 17 backlinks with very good domain authority and even some EDU ones in there as well. So that's only a positive for this particular site.
Are there any skills required for someone to get into this niche, if they're not familiar with it?
Outside of SEO or including SEO?
Yes, outside of SEO.
Yeah, I mean, just you do need to know how to hustle, like, for example, with the negative SEO tag. You do need to be able to think a little bit quick on your feet. You need to be open to learning. It's an industry that continues to change. I'm not going to lie and say that, you can buy an online business like an SEO, like affiliate market business, and not do any work on it. You do have to have some understanding of SEO just so that, you can make tweaks. So if there is knowledge of a change, or if somebody comes up with a way to improve your rankings, you want to be able to understand that so you can then take that to your site and then implement it so your site either stays where it is or continues to grow. The good news is that there's a lot of good SEO guys out there that are offering a lot of free information. There's a lot of really good blogs out there and a lot of information where you can learn about SEO. So it's, like I said, for me, I had a catering business, nothing to do with online at all, and within 2 years, in a passive income traveling around the world. So, and I picked that up and learned that myself. And I'm not technical myself in any aspect.
So wrapping up here, would you commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, if that's certainly something we could discuss, if that would become one of the terms of the sale, then yeah, absolutely.
And how much support are you willing to offer buyers in transitioning to taking over the business?
If the person who buys the site feels comfortable to know that they can contact me on Skype or email me for email support, yeah, I mean, I would be happy to do that. for a period of time to help them understand the site and get any information. So yeah, I'll be happy to help the person out. Yeah, absolutely.
And, obviously, Neef, the best case scenario is that someone comes up and gives 100% cash offer to what we're looking for here. But if that didn't happen, would you be open to say like 70% up front, 30% on closing or something like that?
I'll be open to it. I'll be open to having a conversation about it. Absolutely. There'd have to be some terms in that. I'd have to know a little bit more about that sort of offer, perhaps some sort of escrow, not necessarily saying that they would have to do that. But yeah, I'd definitely be willing to have a conversation around that.
Okay. So just to give another quick summary about the business, it was built in February 2015 with a monthly revenue of $4,272, monthly expenses of $524 for a profit of $3,748 built on a 12-month average. Including in the sale of the business are the domain and the site content. Neef, before I let you go here, what is your best 30-second pitch on why someone should purchase this business?
Well, in my opinion, it took me a long time to decide to sell this particular site. I would have actually kept it, but I just need the money for other projects. I personally believe that it's a sleeping giant where I haven't invested time in link building. I think there's a great opportunity there. If somebody's got access to a PBN network or they know how to link build, I believe that if they build links to this site, to the money pages, then we'll see some really, really good growth and we'll see a lot higher earnings. There's great opportunities with PPC and email marketing. These are things that I haven't even done or looked into, or I haven't even got a Facebook page for this particular site as well. So there's another opportunity there to increase the traffic. Like I said, it's clean other than the negative SEO attack. All the content is high quality. And like I said, the income is fairly passive, not much work at all. For the last 12 months, I've been traveling around Asia while running this business, living the dream. So it's a great opportunity for somebody who's either a savvy SEO person who can, really take it on and grow it. Or if you're sort of new to the game, it's just link building that you need to get on with. It's not a huge site. It doesn't have a great number of pages. You could get onto it and use it to cut your teeth on.
What exactly are you doing in Asia? Is it just a vacation or is it for business?
Today, I'm actually in Spain visiting family, but I have been in Asia. I've come back to Europe to see my own family. But at the end of this month, the end of August, I go back to Chiang Mai for the next 3 months at least, because the home of SEO, apparently so, and just to kind of to do a bit more networking and speak to some SEO folks. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'll be doing in the future, is going out to Asia and seeing what it's like in Chiang Mai. I have no real ties in the UK or anywhere else. So after that, who knows?
Sounds like a ton of fun and sounds like a good opportunity. If you're watching this on YouTube and want more info, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. And if you're watching this on the listing and want more information, become a depositor today. All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and you will be given everything you need to review this business. Neef, thank you so much for coming on today.
No problem, Jake. Pleasure.